Welcome to Talent Freaks with Andy Coon. I'm Andy, a filmmaker and photographer based in the Bay Area of California. This podcast delves into the journeys of creative individuals who inspire curiosity and impact through their work. In this episode, we're revisiting a conversation from 2012 with Gabriel Bissett Smith, a British Academy of Film and Television Arts nominated writer, director, and actor known for his innovative storytelling and genre-blending projects. His work spans film, theater, television, and digital media, often tackling themes of identity, relationships, and societal change in fresh and unexpected ways. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and rate Talent Freaks on your favorite podcast platform. It helps others discover these inspiring stories, and I'm incredibly grateful if you can do that. Now, let's jump back into 2012 with the younger version of myself introducing Gabriel Bissett Smith. This one is going to kick off the Vimeo Awards conversations with Coon. And all these conversations are from people who won at the Vimeo Awards in 2010 and recently in 2012. Now, if you guys did not know, I happen to be a Vimeo Award winner. It's one of the greatest things that ever happened to me professionally. We submitted our documentary web series to 3 really big festivals this year. For the 3rd year in a row, we won an award from the LA Web Fest, which is one of the only web festivals around, which we really support and we're so happy to be a part of. We also won the People's Voice Award from the Webbies this year, which is a huge honor because it's all about people voting, which we think is the best we can do. We went up against Sundance Channel and PBS, and we beat them out with votes. Amazing. We also won, and this is the best one by far, the Vimeo Awards. And we're really excited and happy that we won Vimeo Awards in the web series category. There's so many talented filmmakers and individuals on Vimeo that it still blows our mind that we won that category. And now if you're asking, what did you guys win? What did you work on? Well, if you know us, we did a web series called Often Awesome, the series. And it was about our friend Timothy LaFollette, who battled ALS, and we documented him from diagnosis until his passing. And it was hard. It was one of the toughest things we ever had to do, but it was also one of the most amazing things that we've ever seen and been a part of. And we're very happy that we were able to share Tim's story for the rest of the world and get as much ALS awareness out as possible. And that's what this podcast is about. I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of different Vimeo Award winners from 2010 and also from this year who I met at the award show. The first out of all of these amazingly talented artists and really cool people too is Gabriel Bissett Smith. He's an award-winning writer, actor, director from London. He's had plays produced at the Hampstead Theatre, York Theatre Royal for BBC Radio 4. He's been on attachment at Soho Theatre, the Royal Court, and regular contributor on the Channel 4 series Skins. His short film Thrush won the Rush's Soho Shorts Festival Tender Pixel Audience Choice Award. It's all one sentence. The 2010 Vimeo Best Narrative Award and the Grand Jury Prize at the Disposable Film Festival. He's also directed music videos for the Golden Silvers and 3 other shorts, Mr. Dorothy, Tomato Soup, and Last Night. He's one half of the comedy act Guilt and Shame. You'll hear how Gabriel and I met. We had a really good time at the Vimeo Awards. We just sat down, just started talking, really relaxed, calm, and had a good time. And I said, why don't we do this? And he's like, sure. Really cool guy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Gabriel Bissett Smith and our conversation. So tell me a little bit about yourself first. Like where, I know you have yourself named as an actor, director. Are you also a comedian?
Yeah, I'm a bit. So I mainly started from being a writer. So I write like plays and a little bit of television, and then also on the side I do a comedy act with my friend, which we're just on tour at the moment. Going around England, doing some festivals, and then doing the Edinburgh Festival for a month. And we just got back this week. Actually, we just were away this weekend performing at a festival, which was pretty full on. So I do comedy as well. But for me, comedy is more of a kind of hobby to get me out of the house. Otherwise, I'd just be in the whole time writing in the dark. So it's a good way to sort of get out there and do something physical.
So where did you go to school? And I mean, well, first of all, where are you from?
I'm from here. I'm from London. I'm from England. Yeah,
Born
I
and
was just born
raised?
and raised. Yeah, born and raised in London, and a lot of my family live here as well, sort of dotted about the place. And I studied a drama school called Guildhall, which is here in London. And I just studied acting. And when I was there, I did a lot of devising theatre, and that's where I started to generate my own work, and started to think that maybe I could generate my own work, and people would like it because we sort of put on little shows outside of school, and that's where the kind of whole writing my own stuff came about, really. Um, yeah, from that.
Well, also, first of all, I want it was really cool. I really enjoyed meeting you at the Vimeo Awards.
Yeah, I enjoyed meeting you.
And it was just like a weird Saturday where both of us were hungover, and
Yeah,
and no, it was Friday. It was a Friday,
yeah,
and just sat
yeah.
down and continued drinking.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to meet you because I felt we were both in the exact same mindset, as in let's just have a beer and have a chilled out conversation about nothing too intense. Like I don't know how we managed to find each other, but literally I was like I could sit with this guy all day because he's as chilled out as me right now.
Oh, I had no sleep the night before and just was hungover, so it was a perfect, perfect harmony.
Yeah, same here, same here.
So, tell me about your experience with the Vimeo Awards. Let's go back to 2010
Yeah.
with your idea or your short film, which
Uh,
won Best Narrative.
the film was like I was writing a lot of plays at the time, and I'd had a couple put on, but people weren't responding to my work uh, uh, as the way I thought they were, because I was kind of thinking I don't think they get it on the page. So I was like with my friend, I was like, well, let's just knock up a short. He had a stills camera, and I was like, well, we can't afford proper camera equipment, so let's just make a film about stills, which we did, and we made the film Thrush in like 2 weekends just with
Oh
our
wow!
friends. And it was just a first draft, just knocked it together, and then we I'd never even heard of Vimeo before. My friend had known Vimeo because he'd done like lots of photography stuff, and he was like, "Well, let's upload it onto Vimeo," and then we just put it onto Vimeo, and then I just had it up there for people to sort of see, like when my agent sent out maybe a script for them to see a link to the film, and then people started to really like the film, and more, now it's kind of easy to think, oh, we knew it was good, but then at the time we were like, oh, people seem to quite like this, and then the Vimeo Awards came about, and it was really, I didn't really enter the film into many awards, but the Vimeo Awards are so easy to enter because if
Yeah.
you're on Vimeo, you just, just click a link to it. So we entered it into that, and then it got shortlisted, and I was kind of like, okay, but the stuff in there is like such amazing high quality, as it was this year as well, that I didn't think we'd win. And then one of my friend just went to the set. My friend, then we got even shortlisted again, and there was like a long list and a short list, and then they were like, well, there's a ceremony, and I still literally didn't even think I was going to win, but and my friend was going, who lives in New York, and he was like, well, should I have an acceptance speech? I was like, don't even worry about it, man. Like, just go along, get some free drinks. And then in the middle of the night, I was out with some friends, and the phone rings, and he's like, you won. And I was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, no. And he was so furious because he had to go up and do this acceptance speech completely unprepared. But he did a good job. And yeah, and then literally as soon as I won that, the film got like, I mean, it's had over, 250,000 hits on Vimeo, and people asking to see my other work, and like, it just like it got so much traffic to my Vimeo page since then, and it's all thanks to that, really. There wasn't a cash prize the year I won, which I was pretty gutted about when I heard there was one the year you won. But other than that, it's been it's been pretty amazing.
How did you come up with that idea? I mean, it's really genius, and it was so well executed. Because first of all, the photos were all really well done.
Yeah.
And you had so many. How many pictures did you take for that whole film?
Uh, I don't know, GT, or remember 5,000,
Wow.
10,000. But we the idea just came because at the time, literally, I'd just been sort of dumped by my girlfriend at the time and was looking at our photos on Facebook, and I was just thinking. And then we had this thing that we could only do the film using photo stills, so it kind of just came together really simply. And lots of the story is fiction. I didn't stalk her in real life like it says in the film, but you stalk people on Facebook, and then just that idea of what photos kind of mean nowadays just seemed quite relevant, and it just kind of it just sprang from how I was feeling at the time, really.
Yeah, that's a great way to get it out.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. People to this day still think that it's real.
Oh, come on.
And I was like, as if I put that up there, and as if the girl would let me.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, all right, yeah, I'm showing her that I'm stalking her, and then I'm like, okay, I'm all right with it, but she's okay with that.
Yeah, she's down with that. Yeah.
Did she see this after you put it up? Did the girl that you dumped, or after you broke up with her?
Yes, she did. She actually saw it. I didn't see her for years, and I actually saw her again recently, and she said that a while after we, quite a year or so, she Googled me and this film came up and she watched it and she had no idea it was about her. Like I said, I was like, that was about you. She was like, no, come on. And I was like, no. And I was like, you inspired me. That breakup was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did she take it? Like, how did she take it?
She was flattered. I think anyone is after that amount of time as well.
Right.
Because we were we met and it was on good terms. I think she might have been freaked out closer to the time if she'd have known. But I think she was, because it had done so well, I think she was happy to take the credit for being the inspiration.
So explain this year. What did you? So when you came out for Vimeo Awards to present the best narrative, that's what you won in 2010, right?
Yeah, I judged it and I was asked to present it. So
was it your vote that pushed it over the top? Like, how did that work?
I don't know, but I think James Franco's vote pushed it over the top. I think mine was in second because there was a little bit of conflict over which one should win. And I was very happy with the one that won, but it wasn't necessarily my first choice. And I think maybe the other two people in the category voted for Blinky to win, which I think was a fantastic film, and even more impressive that the guy did it in his bedroom, all the special effects. Like,
wow.
It blew my mind. But I had a particular favorite for the film Pothound because of its rawness a bit more. The guy who did Blinky, I was like, not that this is the thing, I think they're both great, but the guy who did Blinky, I kind of thought this guy's going to go on to make films whatever happens.
Yeah.
And for me, what was so great about the Vimeo Award is they gave me a chance who'd made a film on nothing. So I probably careened a little bit more to the people who'd done it on nothing, which isn't necessarily the right reason, but I also thought the film was fantastic. But loads of them were really great. So, and to be honest, I don't like being a judge. It's horrific, and it feels really unfair. And having known the benefits, as you'll probably know, the benefits that come from winning, it feels a shame to take that away from anyone. So it's difficult.
Yeah, it's it's weird that, like the process that you explained, how when you found out that you won, it was so nerve-wracking, like each step of the way, because at first you forget about it for like 3 months. You even forgot that you entered. Yeah,
completely. Which I think is heaven. I think that's the way that it should be until you win, or you just hear that you lost.
Right.
I don't think you should ever have to think about it in between, because I know what you mean. It's like horrible, isn't it? They're like your long list, and you're like, oh my god. Then they're short list, and you're like, oh my god. And then you actually go to the ceremony, which I'm kind of glad I didn't do, because I don't know if I could have handled it.
No, that must have been nerve-wracking. I mean, it's to imagine, like, I met some people that came from, I think they said Taiwan and other countries, that they didn't know they're going to win or not, and they still flew out, and that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, completely. I think those guys are actually the Pothound guys. The guys.
I met them. The Guinnesses.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the Guinnesses. who are great. And I think, yeah, I was like, blimey, but I suppose it is a great opportunity, and I got to meet them, and even me and them were talking. Well, maybe we can collaborate in the future. So for them flying out, you kind of like, it's kind of worth it for the networking element of the
Right.
of the festival. But yeah, I would have been gutted to fly out and not have won. I think that would have been pretty devastating.
Well, it was like 2 weeks before Vimeo Awards. I flew up to New York for the Webby Awards,
Yes.
and it was awful. I mean, we won, we won, and the problem was they didn't play our a 5-word speech that everybody says, and I mean, they didn't mention us, nothing, and it was just like, what the hell did I fly up here for?
Yeah, like they didn't even mention you. That's insane.
They didn't mention anything. I mean, there were a lot of other people they didn't mention too. It wasn't just us, but I mean, they had so many award winners. I think they had like over 400 award winners. So
Yeah.
people would they did a video. A lot of people did a video. They would come in, do a video, and I couldn't because they scheduled us a day before, and I was flying up the next day, so I couldn't do it. But I asked them, I said, hey, I could shoot this. I'm a professional video person. They're like, no, we don't accept those. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't accept video? They're like, I'm like, no. I'm like, doesn't that goes against everything you guys are celebrating? You're celebrating like how everyone can come together and do unique things. I could send you a file and then you just dump it on your. No,
Yeah.
we don't accept it. It's like, holy.
That's insane, and that's almost goes to show how great the Vimeo's side of everything is, because it really was about showing the work as well on the night, and like sharing, like you did feel like that was part of it, like to be even creative within how you accept the speech and people's videos and stuff like that. Like they really support that and make that feel like a prime thing. And I felt like I'd seen by the end of the awards a lot of the people's work who'd won,
Yeah.
even just from watching the award ceremony, which was what was so great about being there, actually. And it was such a relaxed awards ceremony, that it was quite good fun as well.
And I like what they did with all the winners. They got the 1 minute, what was the special moment in your piece. And it really said a lot about a lot of the people. Like I love the experimental, the one with the insects. The guys from France.
That was incredible. That was like the best outtakes ever. And I actually remember yours with the guy who had filmed himself.
Yeah.
He was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I was actually telling someone about that the other day, about how it was my mum. My mum makes documentaries. She's about to go to Jamaica and make one about the art scene there or something. And she was like, what's the story and what's the thing? And I was saying how with yours, how you said in yours when you found that, how it all sort of came together. Am I right in remembering that? You said like something all, and I just remember being like, that's the thing with documentaries and stuff, is and with any film, it kind of comes from you discover it in the doing of it, I think. And that when it showed that minute, I thought that was really kind of quite powerful and moving, and quite a good way to sum up most filmmaking, is that you can find it in that edit and stuff. And
that moment really, even watching it at the Vimeo Awards, like I was coming up on the stage going, all right, I got to remember Blake, because he's my co-partner in all this. Like we did everything together. And I'm like, I got to remember Blake. And then I saw that and I completely forgot about him. And I like just turned into like this sappy, like emotional person. I got on stage and I was like almost crying already, just because watching that just really hit me. But yeah, like you said, it's weird because we were celebrating, like they did all these benefit shows and then he was out doing things and everything else. And yeah, we saw him, gradually going down. But when he came back with this, he handed us a camera and goes, he's like, watch out for the, what did he say? Oh yeah, he said, watch out for the Blair Witch moment. And I'm like, the Blair Witch moment? What are you talking about? And then when we were watching the footage, it's like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And he had such a raw sense of humor that, it's hilarious what he said, like it's the Blair Witch moment, but I had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah. and but it was, yeah, I remember that. That was, yeah, it was powerful stuff, man.
Yeah. So after you won the Vimeo Awards, how did everything turn around? You said, you got all these hits on your Vimeo page. People want to see your other stuff. Did anybody come to you and say, we want you to shoot our, next film?
Yeah, well, we got so what straight after that I was asked to do some music videos actually. And so we did a couple of music videos with various bands, and then we won the Disposable Film Festival award as well, which I know was off the back of the Vimeo Awards because it was the same judge,
Nice.
Ted Hope, who won that. And then yeah, I started. No one came to me and said, "Come and shoot the next feature," but boosted my confidence.
Mm.
That people were I was asked to do a couple more shorts here and there, and so I was like, "Well, I'm going to write a feature," and so I wrote the feature, and straight away I managed to sell that, and that's in development at the moment.
Fantastic.
And now people have sort of come to me and said, "Well," but I'm not directing that, but people are coming to me now and saying, "Well, look, write something low budget and you shoot it and we'll produce it." So at the moment I'm currently working on something for myself to shoot, and but lots of other things, it's lots of other things sort of come from it. Lots of people contact me and like show film, like it's literally been shown all over the world at different festivals, and it's been shown on Virgin Airways. They had it for a bit and you could watch it on when you fly in, and just crazy stuff. And then off the back of that, I've really started making into the film business, as cheesy as that sounds, and have written a couple and am now looking towards directing my own one, because directing was never really the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I've kind of done stuff, the more I think, okay, I'm up for giving this a shot.
Now, what about acting? Would you put yourself in the...
No, if it was a feature, no, I don't think I couldn't handle that. I think with the shorts, it's kind of fine and fun, but I think if it came to a feature, I'd have to sit out and pay attention and concentrate, because I don't think the pressure. Having directed a few more shorts that have required a bit more concentration, I've realised that I need to step out and you need to focus on the directing, I guess.
It's smart, because one of the hardest things I find doing everything yourself is when you're directing, and you're probably shooting at the same time, and you do everything, you lose that sense of what you're actually doing. Like, you're going to miss something.
100%, and you need to be so on the ball that you do have, when you're doing it on the ground level, you're doing everything. So yeah, you need, and as hopefully you've got some good people around you as well, which I've always been so lucky to have, like really talented people around me, and so I think, yeah, but you have to definitely keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, and I think that's something really important. What you said is having good people around you. I'm like you. I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of amazing filmmakers around me, and that I can trust, work really well, especially Blake. Like, I wish Blake got over his fear of flying and, actually came up to New York for that.
Yeah.
But he's like everything that sometimes I'm a little bit too much. Like, if someone throws up blood or something, like, I'm like, we gotta see every chunk. Like, he'd be like, no, bring it back. Just, they throw up. We know that. We don't have to see it all.
Yeah. That's the guy I work with, Graham Turner, who does all he's like my director of photography and stuff. But literally when we shoot anything, it's just me and him, and he's operating the camera, and he's I did one film once without him, and it just looks awful. And I just suddenly realized how much he was bringing to the table, more than I even knew. That I'd be like, let's do this shot, and he'd be like, yeah. And I was thinking, oh yeah, he's made it look good. But as soon as I didn't have him with me, it was like the thing was a disaster. So that was just luck that we came together. So, to be honest, nearly all of my skill, I think, has been in finding the right people to hang around with, let alone anything to do with myself.
That's really interesting. And that is a skill. It really is.
And that's a skill in itself. that is. I think that is a big skill, and I think that's kind of the director's skill. Essentially, is to just pick the right people to be working with.
So, what was your best moment about your time at the Vimeo Awards? Either time. Oh, yeah, that's right. You weren't there in 2010, but
no, this was my first time. Well, I mean, you mean apart from meeting you?
that can't be your
No.
best time.
And I think the best time was I really enjoyed presenting the award, although it was terrifying. And then I just the whole thing. I think it was literally just hanging out with people and me. So much in what we do. You just hang around with people who just talk rubbish and
Yeah.
who are not really anything, and then literally you were meeting people who are seeing 2 minutes of their work, you were in awe of
Yeah.
what they were doing, and that and it sounds so pretentious, but I don't think I've ever been in an environment where I've literally just been like, oh my god, everyone here is doing stuff, and no one's being like arrogant about it, no one's being like we're the best, everyone's kind of like quite humble about it, but you're just seeing stuff that's blown your mind, and you meet those people and they're just really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll all change and they'll all become like assholes, but uh, it was literally that. I think by the closing night party, it was just really nice, just seeing people you'd seen over the time and making those connections. I think that's completely the best part of it.
Yeah, I have to say that Vimeo, the quality on Vimeo is amazing because you could turn it on any day and look at staff picks, for example. They pick
Yeah.
some amazing stuff, and it's just like holy shit, like this stuff is amazing. And then you put it into
Yeah,
perspective, like I won an award from
yeah,
here.
yeah.
It blows my mind still because I remember when I first found Vimeo, like when it first came out, my brother turned me on to it. He's like, you gotta check this site out. It's for filmmakers. It's fairly new, kind of like YouTube, except artists go here. And ever since then, I've just been a huge fan of Vimeo. And God,
It's insane. You can spend all day on it. You
yeah,
can just spend the day just randomly going. I mean, I hope it doesn't change, and I'm amazed at how they managed to keep it at this level, even this long, with how big it's getting. And I I literally, even when I came to the awards this year, was like, there is no I hope I would have won an award this. Do you know what I mean? I was kind of glad I came in quite early because I was like, the bigger this gets, it's just going to become the most. It's going to be, it's astounding already. I can't imagine what the work's going to be like at the next awards.
Well, if they had 15,000 entries this year, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. At the moment, it's like I don't I personally don't use YouTube at all.
Yeah.
And never go on there. It's not for my. I suppose if you're a teenager or something, then there is the massive hill. But for anyone I know, it's all about Vimeo now. And what's so funny is the year I won, half of the people I'd tell, they'd be like, "You won what?"
Yeah, what's
And
up,
this,
Vimeo?
yeah, and then this year when I was like, I'm going up with Vimeo, they're like, "Why? How?" And I was like, "Because I told you I won last year." And they were like, "Oh, that was that." And like now everyone's cottoned onto Vimeo. My entire family uses it, which is bonkers. My dad's a filmmaker, my mum is, and my little brother does stunt BMXs and then puts his videos up on it of them crashing into buses and stuff. So it's like all over the place.
So tell me about your parents. They sound really interesting. Like, what were you like as a kid growing up in a filmmaking household?
Well, they were kind of filmmakers a bit later. My dad was originally a musician. They were both artists. They
Mm.
met at art school. Um, and then they had me very early on, and then they carried my dad was a musician as well and started taking on music full time, and my mum carried on with art, and then both their things kind of turned into film. In terms of my mum makes art and documentaries now, to do with art, and my dad makes sort of musical art pieces on film and live art pieces, and they're very kind of bohemian artists.
Hmm.
But I do all my editing at my mum's place because she's got all the equipment, and then I'll go to my dad's and he'll score all the soundtrack because she's got all the sound equipment. So
Nice.
I'm really lucky to have, as parents, like it would be strange for me not to sort of be a filmmaker and with my family, I think.
I mean, would it be the opposite? Like, if you turned out to be like, yeah, I'm going to work corporate, would they like be
Yeah,
yelling at you?
yeah. Well, I've said to my mum before, I've been like, I think I'm gonna have to get a proper job because, I gotta get, no woman's gonna want to marry me if I. And she's like, don't you dare get a proper job. She's like, you've got to stick at what you're doing. And
Nice.
so yeah, and that's a real privilege because
It
a lot
is.
of people, that means that I can take the risk and I have that support. And I'm totally aware that loads of people are doing this and their families are like, what the hell are you doing? Get a proper job.
That's fantastic. It's funny you mention that because I grew up with two artists as well, but my mom was a high school gifted and talented art teacher, and my dad was a fine arts professor. So,
Right.
but they were in that safe side, where they
The financial side.
right, they did their stuff and they're like, we can actually make a living doing this and raise kids and do all the other stuff. And so every time I wanted to do something like a film or something, my mom would always be like, now, do you think that's wise? You should really find a job, like get a job. But I have no choice now. I mean, I'm in the corporate world, but I still do all my, play stuff on the side.
Yeah, that's interesting, and it's going well as well. I mean, and I think you gotta do it. You gotta chase it as long as there is gonna come a point where I'm gonna need to be able to provide something for probably a female lady at some point, and that's when I'm gonna get in trouble, I think.
But they have to fall in love with the artiste,
They always do, but then they tire of that quite quickly, and they want some dinner and some flowers.
It's funny because my ex-wife, when we were friends before we got together, and the first thing she's like, I really fell in love with you after I saw your documentary. I did a student documentary about the city I lived in that had like this big, huge. It was called Greensboro's Child. It had a Greensboro massacre. You go look it up. It was like really fucked up. Like the Klan drove in during broad daylight, shot and killed 5 people back in 1979. So I did a documentary on it, and it was a student film / amateur / professional. Kind of shows like how I grew as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I look back and cringe. The story's great, but the production value is awful. But it did its job. And it's funny because I look back, I was like, God, I was so angry. Like I would totally shoot it differently, like a different approach, everything. But when she saw, she's just like, I didn't know you had that in you, because I'm a goofball normally. I'm just like an idiot, like self-deprecating, and try to make jokes all the time. And the funny thing is like after that, it was really hard in our relationship when I worked on a project because I would go in and work, and I would have that separation between like relationship and work, and it was really difficult for her to understand like what I was doing. And and then she began hating what I did, so it was difficult after a while.
That happened. That happened to me in my last relationship. Is that she supported what I did, but when you're a writer and when you're a struggling writer, there isn't a minute you don't feel you should be working.
Yeah.
So she'd be like, let's watch TV, and I'd be like, oh, I got to write this other play because maybe this will be the play that's the hit. And in the end, it just made us sick. And like, fair enough. Even when we broke up, we both kind of said, this might work in a couple of years' time when because she was quite successful in what she did. So she wanted someone to share that with, and I was still trying to make my name. So it was we were just on different places with it. But the other thing you said that interests me is the thing about being so angry when you made that film.
Yeah.
And sometimes I kind of miss that, when you remember when it being, younger and really angry about stuff, and you did make stuff messily, but now sometimes I feel, maybe I'm too controlled in what I'm doing, and I sometimes miss that kind of pure arrogant rage, I guess.
That's funny you mentioned that, because nowadays, I've been in bed with corporate work and clients for over 10 years, and they kind of bring you in to be safe on almost every level. And
yes,
I find it's really hard for me to. I'm not a designer by any stretch of the imagination. So when people will tell me, they give me a blank slate. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, just tell me what you want and I could do it. And
Yeah.
I hate that feeling because I don't rely on my own instincts and senses. Like I feel like someone's toy. It's just like, tell me what you want, and then boom, there it is.
Completely, yeah, completely, and you get eroded, don't you, after time? I mean, everything. When I started out, I was like, I'm gonna do right whatever I want, and then I was like, I need to get stuff put on, so I'll conform a little bit,
Yeah.
and then bit by bit, you're kind of like, and this is why I want, I'm ultimately gonna try and direct and write my own stuff because I want to get that control back, and see it through my own way. But there is a definite element of sort of bending over and conforming a bit, and that's because as you get older, you do want to start making money,
Right.
and then you have to kind of do that. And when you're younger, you're a lot like, fuck money. But it does make me laugh because sometimes when I look at earlier stuff I've done, I'm like, man, I was really running on something else then.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, because I look at myself when I was 20, and I'm like, dude, I would totally get in a fight with myself.
Yeah.
Just like a bloody fight.
100%. Well, I've got a little brother who is a lot like me when I was 20, and we do argue. But part of me also kind of likes his attitude because I think, yeah, that's how I used to see things, and I kind of miss that a bit. Although you're wrong, but I like it. I like the energy.
Would you ever like collaborate across the seas? Obviously across the seas, but like on a project?
Yeah, like, yeah, totally. For me, it's also about getting the work out there, and it's also about collaborating, and it's about working in different ways. I've never even tried a web series or anything like that. So that would be just fascinating for me in a different, just working in a different way, and working with someone else. I really enjoy doing that if you both get on, which I think we do. So yeah, totally.
Well, one of the things that I couldn't believe the kind of production value and the amazing work that's being done in web series. I went out to LA Web Fest 2 years ago, and they had over 100 web series. I'd say probably 95 of those were top quality that could easily play on TV, no problems. Like good audio, good acting, really good acting, great writing, shooting, like everything about it. And but you don't see them because there's like no place to go to watch web series. Even Vimeo's, difficult because there's not like a web series channel.
Yeah.
But it's it's out there, and it's really a way for people to kind of like, they have an idea for a TV show. It's a great way to, try to.
I think it's the future, and I think it's that for me, I pitch TV and stuff, and I've always been really interested in doing web series. My main reason for not doing web series is, as you've said, is I don't know how you get it to people on what website you really promote it on, or how you do that. Because I think people talk about people complain about piracy and chat, and because people are getting stuff at different times around the world. We're waiting for series 4 of Mad Men when it's already showing in America,
right?
And so people start to illegally download it. So I believe that and that when we get it done properly on the web and everything's launched at the same time, that it will become, and television basically sort of becomes completely online. That web series and stuff will rise up and start to have a channel, or however it's going to work, whether it's a website, but it's definitely going to go down that road at some point.
Well, I think companies are starting to realize, especially cable companies, like American AMC. I don't know if you get it over there. American Movie Classics with Breaking Bad, Mad Men, all that. Dish Network they took off AMC on their network, so they're like, well, we're about to premiere Breaking Bad, so screw you guys. We're gonna put it up on our website and stream actually the first episode and tell people how to get, other channels or other, services where they can actually watch Breaking Bad. So, but I'm sure they saw how many people logged on and came in and watched it, and they're like, dude, if we just go directly to, basically our clients are, the commercials, and just have that straight revenue coming into us, then why do we even need, to be on those networks? Because they've built that audience already.
It's so true. But what's interesting is AMC did, they did The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the first show to be globally premiered.
That's right.
And I think it had the biggest viewership of all time because they did it. I mean, it's difficult because when you've got, The Walking Dead, you have got a zombie thing. You've already got AMC as established thing, so it's easy to, it's less easy to do something nobody's ever heard of as a global premiere. But I still think that is the way it's going to go. So nobody's pirating because everybody's getting it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think web series and stuff like that soon will just be considered TV series, and it's just about how people will get that out there and in what format on or what website.
Well, I think what's missing with that is it's kind of like, I see some networks or channels on YouTube doing it really successfully, like Machinima is the #1 subscribed YouTube channel, and what they're doing is they're reaching out to filmmakers and other people that are doing their own original stuff, and they're like, why don't you bring your series or whatever you're doing and come and we'll distribute it on our channel. Like when Mortal Kombat, the Legacy web series came out, they went to Machinima, and they were already introduced to over 1 million people who already subscribed to Machinima. So they already have the audience. They just go out and get the talent. So that's one way I see how it's doing it. But building the audience is, you have to get that audience first before you could do all that.
Yeah, totally. And that's the kind of catch-22, isn't it, of getting that right. But yeah, there's definitely stuff out there doing it, and it's definitely possible. And as you said before, web series interests me greatly. I've always just never been sure about where you market it or where you place it. Yeah,
and that's every time I go to a web series fest, that's the one thing they have. They have group discussions about that, and it's always the same thing. And then when people come in who are successful, they always talk. Or actually, the ones that come in and talk are the ones like that have networks behind them. They go, well, we're with WB. And we did this web series. We put $500,000 into it, and then we sold it to all of our the commercials, all the advertisers, and it's just like, well, you already had that. How do we get to there?
Yeah, well,
you're not helping us. You're kind of like making us even more angry.
I'm totally up for a collaboration. We should do it.
Cool, man. I'm definitely down. And that's like you said earlier. All the people that you met. You meet at Vimeo, you're like, dude, I want to work with you, like in any stretch of imagination. Like, I do not have to be top dog at all. Like, I just want to experience what like your writing is fantastic. Like, just watching, I mean, even I love Thrush. Like, I watched it and I showed my girlfriend. She's like, wow, did that really, it's funny you mentioned that earlier because she said the same thing. Did that really happen?
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be the reaction. To be honest, it kind of did really happen, but obviously not in that way. Just in a slightly different way, but yeah, totally, man. And yeah, that was exactly it on the wall. But you didn't. That's what I mean about the no ego thing. You were like, I want to work with you, and also because nobody's walking around being like, I'm top dog.
Right.
Everyone's kind of like curious, I guess.
And it's funny because I'll go back to the Webbies because there was so much ego at that place. It made me sick. Okay. Like, there was almost like an arrogance because, like, they wouldn't even they only allowed certain people to walk the red carpet.
Yeah,
and
really?
And it was like, everybody here's a winner. Everyone should walk through. Now, if people don't want to take a photo of them, I don't care. They don't have to, but at least let people walk. They earned that. Their own.
To be honest, that sounds insane. Like, the Webbies, it just sounds stupid.
Yeah, it's basically, it's a place where all these people go to celebrate and show off all their celebrity friends and, bring up celebrities and show them off, and all these big companies like, I mean, Google Plus won for social network or social media of the year, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Over Facebook, and they're a sponsor of the Webby, so it made sense.
But that is insane. Like, who uses Google Plus?
Yeah, I know. it's a cool thing, but I use it maybe once every 4 months when I have to update something important.
Yeah, I don't even really know what Google Plus is.
It's the Google Facebook, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done to get it out there.
Yeah.
Well, Gabriel, I took up a lot of your time, and I really appreciate this conversation.
Oh, no worries, man. It was great. It was great to speak to you again as well.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, you too, man.
And if you ever come to the States, you always have a place to stay in Charleston, South Carolina.
All right. Well, you have the same here in London.
Fantastic.
So let me know.
You got it, Gabriel.
All right. I'll speak to you soon, man.
All right. Take care. Have a good night. I'd like to thank Gabriel for taking time. He's 5 hours ahead of us, and we did it a little bit late. So thanks, Gabriel. I had a really good conversation and enjoyed it, and looking forward to working with you in the future. Yes, that's right. I said it here first. Well, actually, I told you that before. Thanks for listening to this episode of Talent Freaks. Gabriel Bissett Smith's work continues to challenge conventions and push the boundaries of storytelling across multiple platforms. His ability to blend humor, drama, and social commentary makes his project stand out in today's creative landscape. To explore more of Gabriel's work, visit his official website at gabrielbissetsmith.com. I'll leave the link in the description. And follow him on social media for updates on his latest projects. If you'd like to know more about me, you can follow me on talentfreaks.com, where you can see some of the videos I worked on, some of the podcasts I released, as well as the photography that I love doing right now. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and rate the podcast. It really helps others discover these incredible stories. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and stay curious.